Back at it here on a Monday, 15th day of December, 2025. I am Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Here we go again. Raining lightly, 39 degrees here in the Wenatchee Valley. Story today, rain will be tapering off by about noon. It'll get a little breezy this afternoon, and tonight, the big weather maker, another atmospheric river. Not as bad as what we saw in the middle of last week, but bad enough. With Tuesday night and Tuesday night, Wednesday, strong winds, heavy rain, big time snow in the mountain passes. Of course, the soils are completely saturated. There's no place for the water to go, and the big concern is trees again. There are trees that are just waiting to fall down with one more big gust of wind in a lot of locations, and that may in fact be the case, especially tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, and into Wednesday. We just can't seem to catch a break. And warmer than normal temperatures. We get it all. We have a lot to talk about. Weather is, not surprisingly, as it has been for the last 7 or 8 days, is going to dominate our conversation this morning. We will have news, what happened over the weekend. Sports, lots happened over the weekend. Seahawks, thank goodness for Jason Myers. 6 for 6, new franchise record. Seahawks pulled out a victory without scoring a touchdown. You don't see that very often, plus everything else that happened over the weekend in the world of sports. It was a lot. And a really cool video was sent to me last week. My good friend Russ Alman, who is the PR guy, if you will, the communications dude for the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center, soon to be the Foothills Center at the start of the year. And he had a chance to do something that very few people get to do. He took a video tour of the penthouse apartment of the founders of Colonial Vista, Carl and Betty Campbell, who lived on the 5th, the very top floor, the entire top floor of one of the buildings on the campus of Colonial Vista. If you'd like the color orange and you'd like the year 1972, you're going to like this, because Colonial Vista has pretty much left the Campbell penthouse apartment untouched over the years. They very rarely allow anybody into that area, but they gave Russ a video tour, and we're going to show it to you in the back half of the program. It's pretty fascinating stuff. It's a rare peek into that cool little piece of real estate. We'll have that for you in the back half of the program. Let's go. It's raining lightly. It's 39 degrees. There is the valley as we're now into the longest days, longest nights, shortest days of the year. The solstice, by the way, is this Sunday, December 21st, the shortest day of the year before they finally start getting a little bit longer. Yesterday's high was 42. Saturday's high was 48. By the way, and we did set another record on Friday from the downtown Wenatchee Cascadian camera looking to the south on the avenue. Things are just wet. Even though we had a pretty mild, pretty benign weekend, again, there is just no place for the water to go. The soil is soaked to the bone, and that means mud slides, rock slides, and unfortunately, with the wind coming, some trees coming down. That's almost a lead pipe cinch. There's Rocky Reach Dam from the Omi Garden camera. Nice view there. And finally, I think we have Orondo Rock ready to roll. There it is. You can see the lights of the big city off into the distance, Turtle Rock and Rocky Reach Dam on this rainy morning. Now again, the rain will be tapering off mid to late morning. It'll be replaced, unfortunately, with wind. And then we catch a little bit of a break, but not much, on Tuesday, and then by Tuesday afternoon it's going to get crazy. The high wind watch kicks in Tuesday night, goes through Wednesday. Watch is in the middle of it. It's advisory, watches, and warnings, so it's a high wind watch. It is going to be breezy over most of the travel area, and again, the big concern is big trees near power lines that are just at the verge of falling down because, quite frankly, the ground is just saturated. And all it takes is some pretty good wind, pretty good strong sustained winds, and I have a feeling we're going to have more trees coming down, especially on Tuesday and Tuesday night. Tuesday night is the real hammer. That's when we're going to get heavy rain and strong winds. Not as heavy as we saw. It's also going to be considerably cooler, so we had just that crazy disastrous weather, if you will, on Tuesday and Wednesday of last week. This isn't going to be as severe. For one thing, temperature's going to be a lot cooler, still warmer than normal, and the passes are going to get just hammered with snow. In fact, starting overnight Tuesday into Wednesday, Stevens Pass and I-90 are going to get snow measured in feet. So a little concern today. A little bit of rain in the upper elevations. That's going to switch over to snow tomorrow. The big thing that we're keeping an eye on is tomorrow afternoon through Wednesday. Heavy rain, heavy rain in the Wenatchee Valley and strong winds. We're not expecting 60-mile-an-hour gusts, but strong enough. Then we'll calm down a little bit. And as I already mentioned, the mountain passes are going to get a whole bunch of snow, with the exception of Blewett, which really isn't going to get very much. From our friends at Colonial Vista, here we go, folks. By the way, if we get to that 56-degree mark, that would be another record high. That would be our 6th day so far in December with a record high temperature for that particular date. It has been the warmest December on record. We've already done that, and we're not even into Christmas yet. So rain tapers off this morning. Wind picks up this afternoon, 56 for the afternoon high. Slight chance of rain tonight. The winds will be pretty consistent, right around 20 miles an hour overnight tonight, and we'll get down to about 38. Tuesday, rain, lots of rain. 1/4 inch of rain on Tuesday. We'll get up to about 49. Now, the average high temperature is 33, so it's still going to be mild. And then Tuesday night, hold your breath. Heavy rain, strong winds. We're talking 1/2 inch of rain just for the Wenatchee Valley. Other places are going to get even more than that, and very windy Tuesday night into Wednesday. The rain will taper off Wednesday morning. We'll even see some sun breaks, but we still have some rain on Wednesday morning. Rain likely Wednesday night. Rain lots on Thursday. Heavy snow in the mountain passes. Thursday night, not too much rain. Heavy snow in the mountain passes. Friday, some sunshine, but still a chance of rain. Friday night, a chance of rain. Saturday, a chance of rain. Saturday night, a chance of rain. Heavy snow in the mountain passes. Again, we're keeping things are going to get really crazy tomorrow afternoon, overnight Tuesday into Wednesday, and then we'll calm down a little bit Wednesday, and then we have more rain on the way on Thursday. Can't catch a break. We are going to take a break, a 2-minute break. That's all we can do. And then come back with the news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Caught in a conflict? Family? Workplace? Neighbor? Business? Housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Craving fresh Asian comfort food? Steam Panda is Wenatchee's popular, family-friendly Asian restaurant. They focus on providing guests with delicious, healthy, fresh, and natural dishes for an affordable price. Warm up with one of their many popular house-made soup dumplings, ramen noodles, or pho dishes. And make sure to ask about their lunch and chef specials on sushi rolls. Steam Panda's Hawaiian poke bowl and salads are excellent with your favorite boba tea. Stop by or order online at Steam Panda today.
It's misty, it's cloudy, some light rain, 39 degrees. Story today is really going to be the wind. It'll be a little breezy this afternoon. Some light rain expected tonight, and then for a 24-hour period from about noon tomorrow till about noon on Wednesday, things are going to get pretty gnarly indeed, with heavy rains in the Wenatchee Valley, strong winds in the Wenatchee Valley and north central Washington, and torrential snow in the Cascades. It's 10 minutes after the hour. Not surprisingly, Chelan County has declared an emergency, a state of emergency, in response to the sustained winds and rain from last week. The emergency declaration approved by Sean Smith, who is the chairman of the Board of Commissioners. County code allows one of the three commissioners to declare a state of emergency when the board is not in session. The entire board will sign the formal resolution at its meeting later on this morning. The declaration gives commissioners the ability to use local resources without having to go through the typical government bidding process for goods and services. It's also a prerequisite to receive most state and federal recovery assistance funding. And speaking of federal assistance funding, Governor Bob Ferguson's office announcing on Friday that President Trump has approved Washington's request for federal emergency assistance. On Thursday, the entire state delegation, all 10 members of the House and the two senators, Patty Murray and Maria Cantwell, sent a letter to the president requesting an emergency declaration. That declaration will allow and authorize the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, to provide assistance required for emergency measures. Assistance was approved for 16 counties, including Chelan and Kittitas County, and also the tribal nations that have been affected. Ferguson was joined by Maria Cantwell in Tukwila, where he thanked the federal government for its support.
Our entire congressional delegation all signed a letter requesting that the president sign that emergency declaration. Individuals like Senator Campbell were making phone calls to their extensive contacts within the White House and the administration. This has been a bipartisan effort to request and to get this emergency declaration. So I just deeply appreciate the bipartisan work at the federal and local level from many voices to make this request and to make the case.
Things are starting to return to normal in Leavenworth. Of course, as you know, over the weekend they had to cancel the Village of Lights festival. It'll be back this weekend. They tell us you can't have lights on when you don't have electricity, but they're still cleaning up and trying to get ahead of the expected incoming storms a little bit later on this week. In the meantime, getting to Leavenworth from Stevens Pass isn't happening. Stevens Pass is closed from Skykomish to Leavenworth. There is a sizable washout of one lane of Stevens Pass in the Tumwater Canyon. That major route is not going to be reopened for quite some time. So for the businesses who depend on tourism from the Puget Sound area coming over this time of the year, those folks are going to have to take I-90 and then Blewett. And as we already mentioned, I-90 is one of the two major passes that is going to get inundated with snow starting tomorrow night. Rivercom, the Wenatchee Valley's 911 agency, announced last week it's purchased a new site for its future headquarters. The dispatch center has been outgrowing its current space at the Wenatchee Police Department, and for a while it looked like they might move to the Confluence Technology Center as they looked at a lot of different locations. But I had a chance to speak with the executive director, Doug Jones, and he told me why Rivercom chose the path that they chose.
911 centers have to be what they call risk category 4 to meet those construction standards. So we did an analysis of the CTC at the time, and it would have taken a lot more money than what was reasonable to retrofit that entire facility to be risk category 4 when all we were occupying was one floor. So it didn't make a lot of sense.
What that means essentially, if it's a catastrophe, a major earthquake, a flood, anything that would endanger the lives of hundreds of people, you guys have to stay open.
Exactly. We're, as an emergency communication system, floods or whatever, we have to have a facility that's going to have the redundancy and the structural integrity to really withstand those forces that we can then continue to operate and provide those emergency services.
So just about a year ago, you went to the board. The board green-lighted purchase of a property so you could build from the ground up on 5th and Lyle. In East Wenatchee. That was the initial plan, and then things changed a couple of weeks ago. Talk about the timeline for the new headquarters out there in Old Station.
Yeah, we purchased that property in East Wenatchee, I think in October time frame of 2024, with the intent of building a new facility. Again, it's very difficult to find an existing facility, as we found out with the CTC, that meets those risk category 4 requirements. They just don't build them unless you're building fire departments or PSAPs or 911 center. So it's very hard to find that. So we did look to build new, and we had a design team come on and start the preliminary design of a new facility. And the rough cost of that were going to be about $26 million to finish that complete project. So we went to the state, as you know, last year, asked for a lot of money to help complete that. Didn't get it, which is fine. It was a big ask, and there's a lot of priorities for state funds, especially right now, as you know. Federal funds as well. We went to our federal representatives, and they did what they could, but difficult to secure funding from them as well. So went back to the drawing board when we didn't get those funds and said, what can we do? So we started looking at existing facilities, and this one out on Euclid came up. It's a little bit smaller than we wanted. That's going to be about probably 6,000 square feet smaller than our new facility that we were planning, but certainly for the next 15 to 20 years is one that will work for us.
So how did this all fall into place? You bought the property in East Wenatchee. We want to build from new, but if something comes up that fits within our budget, we're going to go for it, and this is exactly what happened, pretty much?
Exactly. And again, similar to what we did with the CTC, we looked at this property, we said, and we made an offer on it, and then we entered into a contingency phase where we looked at all the things we needed to do to bring it to risk category 4, to provide all the redundancy and power and IT and all those types of things that a 911 center needs. And we went through that process of hiring someone to look at that, and it came back as yes, this can be retrofitted at a reasonable cost, significant cost savings to building new. So that's the route we went.
How much money are you saying you're going to, I'm assuming, eventually put the property in East Wenatchee that's not going to be your new headquarters back up for sale? You paid a little over $12 million for that? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. How much was
we paid for that for the 1.7 or 8, something like that.
That's what I
right.
meant. Yeah. And so there's going to be some cost savings here by buying an already existing building, even though you do have to renovate it.
Exactly. Definitely. And then we still have that property in East Wenatchee. The board hasn't made a decision to sell that or not. Kind of looking at maybe what the market looks like as far as selling that to be good stewards of public funds and what that looks like. So, and we don't know. We don't have the final cost on the retrofit for the new building either. So we've got a RFP out for a design company now to come in and really get to the details about what we need to do with this property. We'll get a little bit more refined budget on that and figure out exactly how much we need beyond what we have to finish that property and move into it.
Does the physical location of Rivercom's dispatch center, the new one, does that play any role at all, or as long as you can put up transmitters and repeaters and all that stuff so you can communicate over a wide swath of property? Does the actual physical location play a role in this?
Yes, that was one of our contingencies too, was to kind of do analysis of how that property, with an antenna there, hits our other radio sites throughout the valley, and then simulcast throughout the 2 counties. So yes, that's a consideration. Obviously, Euclid, one of the things we looked at with Euclid property is right above the Confluence State Park down there. So what's the inundation zone for the dams? That was a big one because it's right down there. And we worked with the PUD, and they gave us some maps to show us that even if there was a flood coming down from the dam, we would be above those flood areas. So that was another consideration.
And on this Monday, 2 of the Wenatchee Valley's major players in recycling and waste reduction getting together. They're going to join forces. Sustainable NCW announcing it's merging with its fellow nonprofit Waste Loop, which was founded in the Upper Wenatchee Valley in 2018. Both organizations focus on reducing the amount of food or other waste going to landfills in our area. Sustainable NCW operates a bicycle co-op and an online tool to help consumers learn where to recycle household items. Waste Loop has operated free events to repair home goods, organized class recycling for residents in Leavenworth, and fostered East Side Rebuild. That's the cashmere shop that collects and sells repurposed construction materials. Organizers say the merger of the 2 nonprofits will help meet the mission of sustainability for everybody here in the Wenatchee Valley. Now you know what's going on this Monday. If it's anything like last week, it's going to be another busy news week. Thank goodness we got pros in the bullpen who know what they're doing. I'm not among them. But the news, whatever and it's going to be a lot, is going to come your way tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. The NCW Life Evening News doesn't work into your schedule. No big deal. Right around 5 o'clock, you can watch the evening news by going to our YouTube page. Don't forget, we stream. Whatever's broadcasting right now is streaming on our website. We're on Roku, we're on Apple, we're on the Amazon Fire Stick. And if you have a news tip for us, and we've gotten some pretty significant stories by hearing from you folks, our viewers. Send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. A friendly reminder for Seahawks fans, it's not how, it's how many. Sports is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel. Welcome to Mountain Chick Floral, your go-to flower and plant shop in downtown Wenatchee. Order your holiday centerpiece or special arrangement to bring the holiday cheer into your home or office. Shop Mountain Chick Floral for a wide variety of fun gifts and houseplants, and when you buy a plant and a container, they'll pot it for you, no charge. Weddings, birthdays, anniversaries, shop Mountain Chick Floral in downtown Wenatchee, where every occasion is a reason to celebrate with flowers.
The holiday season is here, and life is hectic. Let Merry Maids help simplify yours. You expect a lot, and Merry Maids delivers more. They'll make your home or business sparkle for holiday parties, special events, and family gatherings. They'll customize the cleaning to fit your needs and your budget. Merry Maids are cleaning experts. They're licensed, bonded, and insured. Best of all, your satisfaction is always guaranteed. Visit online, merrymaids.com, and call for a free estimate. Then you can relax. It's done.
Welcome to Bliss. Population U. This is the you that appreciates the warmth of a good coat and the fit of a purposeful boot. At Coastal, we want to be your partner in finding your bliss. We are hopeful and helpful because we're about this community. So when you're looking for a place called Bliss, trust Coastal, your country lifestyle superstore. Coastal, we're just what the country needs.
Hey, hon, would you run this around to the wash rack?
Oh, okay.
Hey, hon, what happened?
They shrunk the truck.
The all-new mid-size Canyon is now available at Sangster Motors.
Sports at 22 after the hour. Jason Myers kicked 6 field goals, needless to say. That's a franchise record, including the game-winning 56-yarder with 29 seconds left. And the Seahawks beat Phillip Rivers, the 44-year-old grandfather, and the Indianapolis Colts. The final there was 18-16. They did it without scoring a touchdown. Myers also nailed field goals from 47, 52, 46, 32, and 30 yards. The Hawks last won a game without scoring a touchdown just about a year ago when they beat the Bears 6-3. Coach Mike McDonald said despite the score, it was a good win for the Hawks.
It was a great football game. You got to give the Colts a lot of credit. They had a great game plan, executed it well, and I'll tell you what, our guys just, we just fight tooth and nail to the absolute end, and, like, wins in this league are come in all different shapes and sizes, and great teams figure out a way to win games. And that's what we're trying to be, So I'm proud of our effort, man. We are mentally tough. We stuck together. There's plenty, obviously, we want to work on and improve. But the way we closed that game out was just phenomenal. Just in terms of the fight, J-My 6 field goals, having each other's backs. Great kickoff return there at the end. Kobe with the pick. I mean, just a great effort, great effort. There's things that we're going to really learn from out of this game. Red zone, time of possession, field position, defensively, being able to adjust as the game goes on, which I thought we did a great job of, but that's going to happen, So games are going to be like this coming down the stretch. And so it's, you got to learn, figure out ways to win them. And so I'm proud that we did.
Jason Myers, after the game, needless to say, said he really likes playing for the Seahawks.
I think I said after the game with Jen, the locker room we have, it's so fun on Sundays with these guys. Everybody's so close in this locker room, so just like fighting to the end. The NFL's hard, right? So it's not every game's gonna be like a blowout or anything like that. They're gonna be tight. So yeah, just fighting with these guys is awesome. Once we get the ball back for if it's end of half, end of game, me, Stoley, and Dicko just getting our routine on the sideline and just ready for opportunity.
Now that that's out of the way, here come the Rams. Believe it or not, even though the Seahawks and the Rams are technically tied for first place in the NFC West, as we look at the NFC West scoreboard, check this out. They haven't clinched a playoff spot yet. Yeah, the Rams have, but the Seahawks still have not clinched a playoff spot yet. Now, of course, if they win on Thursday night on Prime TV at Lumen Field, they will, in fact, have done that exactly. Well, we still need to talk about the Kraken. Remember when they were good? Which seems like forever ago. They didn't have a very good weekend. They lost to Utah in Utah. Salt Lake City 5-3 was the final. That was on Friday. And then yesterday, they lost for the 8th time in 9 games. The Sabres got the best of them. Kraken need to right the ship. They'll try to do that against Colorado tomorrow at Climate Pledge Arena. Washington Huskies for the night. Let's see here. Since 2013, the Huskies have won at least 9 games in a season. That's pretty good. They did it again on Friday night. They won the LA Bowl. They knocked out Boise State. The final there was 38-10. Boise State scored a late touchdown in the closing minutes to make that. So the Huskies finished with 9 wins for the 7th time since 2013. Women's college basketball, Washington State falls to 1-10 on the year. The Cougar team, both the men and the ladies, have really been struggling. There are your finals from over the weekend. The Huskies came back to knock off Green Bay, by the way, on Saturday. The final there was 79-74. Men's scores, again, the Cougars just are not playing particularly well. They lost to USC 68-61. They've lost 5 in a row, but the Huskies won. Gonzaga won in Seattle on Saturday night. Eastern lost to California Baptist. High school sports over the weekend in girls basketball. Here are your finals. Take a look at the teams that you follow. And there you go. That's the Prep Girls Basketball scoreboard on Friday. On Saturday, there were a lot more games on tap. The Eastmont was supposed to play Woodinville. They canceled that. You can't play a game when the team can't make it here. That's the girls' scores on Saturday. Boys' scores on Friday. West Valley crushed Eastmont 86-58. There are the rest of your final scores from high school basketball from the boys' side on Friday and on Saturday. Lots of basketball, lots of finals. Take a look at how your team did over the weekend. Pretty rough weekend for the Wenatchee Wild. They won on Saturday night, on Friday night at home. They knocked off the Tri-City Americans 3-2. Then Saturday, they went down to the Tri-Cities. I think we have that slide. And they lost to the Tri-City Americans in Kennewick. The final there was 4-1. And then on Sunday, for Teddy Bear Toss, they lost to Everett. The final there was 4-1. They play again tomorrow. Don't forget, Austin Andrade will be my guest here. And don't forget, we will be doing something we've never done before, doing high school basketball in Cashmere. We will cover the doubleheader between Natchez Valley and Cashmere. The girls will start at 5:45, the boys at 7:15. During halftime of the boys' game, they will retire Haley Van Lith's jersey. We will be there with our cameras, broadcasting live and in stereophonic sound right here on the NCW Live channel. Those are just some of the games that people are playing, as you could probably tell with my outfit today. Today is National Wear Your Pearls Day today. I have my pearl necklace on and my pearl earrings and my pearl brooch. I don't have any of those things. If you don't own any pearls, by the way, that's cool. Most people don't. Pearls are the only gemstone, the only precious stone that comes from a living animal, but only 1 in about every 10,000 oysters actually has a pearl in it. Koichi Mikimoto created the first cultured pearls in 1896, and that's where almost every pearl in the world has come from for the last 125 years. 99% of all the pearls out there on the market today are cultured, not natural. If you got pearls, wear them. I don't. I was just making that part up. I lost my pearl necklace years ago. 29 minutes after the hour, happy birthday to the Bill of Rights. December 12th, 1791, 234 years ago today, the Bill of Rights is passed and becomes part of the Constitution, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. It was Virginia, by the way, who put the Bill of Rights over the top to put it in the Constitution. George Washington, the president, had 14 handwritten copies of the Bill of Rights made, 1 for Congress and 1 for each of the 13 original states. They didn't all make the trip. The copies for Georgia, Maryland, New York, and Pennsylvania, they went missing. The New York State copy is thought to have been lost in a fire. 2 unidentified copies of the missing 4, thought to be the Georgia and Maryland copies, survive. One is in the New York City Public Library. The other one is in the National Archives. The copy that North Carolina got was stolen by a Union soldier during the Civil War. The FBI did a sting operation 20 years ago and got it back. And the actual Bill of Rights that was handwritten for Congress is the Bill of Rights that you can see when you go to Washington, D.C. in the National Archives. The Bill of Rights is 234 years old today. 86 years ago today, Gone with the Wind premiered at Lowe's Theater, the Grand Theater, not surprisingly in Atlanta, Georgia, and not surprisingly because it was in Atlanta, Georgia, and it was 1939, no African Americans were allowed to go to the premiere, even though there were a bunch in the movie. If you adjust the ticket prices for inflation, it is still the highest grossing movie of all time. It sold more tickets to moviegoers than any movie in history. This is in 1939. By 1949, it was estimated that half of all Americans had seen Gone with the Wind. 3 years after it debuted, the producer, David O. Selznick, sold his rights to Gone with the Wind for tax purposes, sold it for $500,000. In 1942, he sold it to John Whitney, his business partner. John Whitney turned around and sold the rights to MGM for over $2 million. Oops. How did that happen? Gone with the Wind made its debut 86 years ago today and would play in theaters all over this country literally for years. That is not a football score. It was on this date in 1973. 11,700 fans watched Tennessee defeat Temple. The final was 11-6 to win the Volunteer Classic Championship. 11-6 in 1973 in a men's college basketball game. This was before the shot clock. Before the shot clock, so Temple went into delay. They went into the four corners offense and hoped to win a low-scoring game. They didn't. The fans were so mad that the Tennessee head coach made his varsity team do an inter-squad scrimmage after the game, so at least the folks who paid good money could watch a basketball game. 11-6 in a men's college basketball game. Let's do birthdays. If you're poor and crazy, you're just crazy. If you're rich and crazy, you're eccentric. J. Paul Getty was eccentric, one of the richest men who ever lived. He was the first guy to say, hey, if they got all kinds of oil in Saudi Arabia, in Egypt, and in the Mideast, I think I'll go over there and do a little business with the folks in the Mideast. He was the first American to make his fortune in oil wells in the Mideast. When his grandson was kidnapped, it was a $17.5 million ransom he refused to pay. He eventually paid $2.2 million. He washed his own clothes by hand in the sink because he didn't want to pay to have his clothes laundered. And if you were a guest of J. Paul Getty at his home and he wanted to use the telephone, you had to pay for it. He had a payphone installed in the lobby of his home for guests to make outside phone calls. And the guy was worth $1 bazillion, J. Paul Getty, born in the state in 1892. As the head of talent at Columbia Records, John Hammond discovered and signed the following musicians: Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen, Billie Holiday, Count Basie, Pete Seeger, Aretha Franklin, George Benson, and Stevie Ray Vaughan. John Hammond was the very first person inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as the Lifetime Achievement Award, the legendary John Hammond. That's remarkable. Springsteen and Dylan and Billie Holiday, he discovered all of them, signed them to Columbia Records. And speaking of Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Alan Freed is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and on merit too. He credited the term rock and roll and played music from black musicians on white radio stations, and America would never be the same. For Heat and Air, call Alpine Air. For Heat and Air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsors. Because of all these DNA tests you can take nowadays, you send in your spit and they send back your family tree. Mike McNaughty discovered he had a stepsister. He'll talk about that that he didn't know about, in his opinion. And then a video you're really going to like. Russ Alman, my good friend for the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center, he and Stevie Knemeyer from Colonial Vista did something that very few people ever get to do. They got to take a tour of the 5th floor penthouse apartment of the late Carl and Betty Campbell. It is a trip back through time. If you love the color orange, don't go away. That exclusive video tour is coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
NCW Life channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCW Life would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
A kitchen that makes mouths water and jaws drop. A bedroom from a dream with a bath from a spa. A walk-in you'd never want to walk out of. A pool like the fountain of youth. And a view that never gets old. When buying or selling a home of the highest standards, it's comforting to be represented by a real estate company with standards to match. Coldwell Banker Global Luxury. Live well with Coldwell.
You come alive in the dead of winter and start work early on snow days, because snowed in is not an option. The Kubota Snow lineup of compact tractors, RTVs, and versatile attachments are built to move, plow, blow, and thrive in the winter. So when the snow falls, you can rise to meet it. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment with 0% financing available or save up to $4,300.
This is Mike Magnati, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, about 10 years ago, my wife and I did the Ancestry.com DNA test. We got some interesting but not too surprising results about our ancestral background. But one big surprise, though, is that the DNA results connected me with a half-sister, Kathy, who was a child born to a woman my dad had a brief relationship with when he was in the Navy back in 1945. A wartime love child. So Kathy and my other sibs connected, and she came to visit us all a few years ago. And this one formerly only child found out that not only did she have the five of us siblings, but she had 45 plus extended relatives, many of whom she met when she came out here. Now, sadly, Kathy recently passed from cancer just a few weeks ago. She was almost 80 years old, but it was a huge blessing to us and to her that we finally had this time together, and she was able to explore and understand and learn about some of her paternal side of her family. So thanks, Ancestry. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and that's my opinion.
When flooding hit Serve Wenatchee, their office in Fresh Hope Market were devastated. But their mission to help prevent homelessness in this valley hasn't stopped, and neither will we. I'm Todd McLaughlin, General Manager at Apple Valley Honda. Now through the end of the year, we're donating $25 to Serve Wenatchee every time someone takes a test drive. And if you happen to buy a vehicle, we'll give an additional $100 in your name. Because when our neighbors are in need, this community steps up, and we're proud to be part of that.
Central Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa, plug-and-play spas, a Tilo sauna, or a cold plunge tub. Stop by Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCW Life. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCW Life channel.
Hi, everyone. This is Russ Alman, Communications Director at the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center, soon to be Foothills Community Center. Got to keep adding that in there now because we're getting close. And we took a field trip today. We're over at Colonial Vista near downtown Wenatchee. And I'm here with Stevie Knemeyer, the Director of Sales. And we're doing a kind of a unique tour today. We're on the top floor in the penthouse suite in Colonial Vista. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the history of this place?
Yeah, so Colonial Vista is one of the largest senior living communities in Wenatchee, and we originally started in the late 60s, and this was the former home of the founders, Mr. and Mrs. Campbell, and so they lived here until they passed away. Mr. Campbell lived here till he was 98 years old, and he was involved with the community until the very end, pretty much. So this was his home here that we're in, and it's a very, very unique vintage space. So we love to show the community kind of the uniqueness of this place. Yeah.
So, and this was not their only facility, right?
No. So they were they were essentially pioneers of the senior living communities. And so this was their flagship or their main location, and then eventually went on to open about 180 communities or be involved with them all throughout the country. He was in Hawaii, back east, so all over the place.
So, like you said, one of the true pioneers in the senior living concept.
Yeah. Yep, definitely. And so what they did here kind of became the standard throughout the U.S.
And so tell me a bit about the facilities that you have now, because I know it's kind of unique. You have two separate living facilities. You have acute care.
Yeah, so this campus here, there's 4 buildings total. We're in what's called Vista 2, but we have assisted living and independent living on the senior living side. And then on the campus, we actually have rehab and long-term care as well with Colonial Vista Post-Acute. So it's all owned by the same company, but basically we have everything you could need here.
Yeah. So I guess without further ado, we're going to take a tour around this penthouse suite. How many square feet is it?
It's 10,000 square feet.
Pretty big for a home.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's on the top floor, of course. So it's got a panoramic view of the whole valley from the downtown area. So it's really kind of a unique view as well.
Definitely.
And are you still giving tours to the public of this?
We have been opening up time to time, and so the best thing to do is to watch our Facebook page, and we kind of announce when we're doing public tours.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's take a look around.
All right. Okay. Oh, so we're at the 5th floor here. Got to use a key, and so we get off the elevator. Here we are. So as you can see, Mrs. Campbell really liked orange. Orange was her favorite color, and it's the theme kind of throughout the entire penthouse. The most orange you're probably ever seen in your life, but it's pretty cool. Off to the left here, we have what we've kind of turned into a little study. Obviously, it's not exactly how they had it, but over the years, things have changed. So there's a cool bookshelf and amazing views. You can see George Seller Bridge out there, and you can see kind of down towards the Vista Dome, which is our outside entertaining space. It has a stage for live music and all of that. So This is the study, what we call the study. And then here is one of my favorite bathrooms. The reason I like it is because the wallpaper is kind of velvety and soft. So it's definitely 70s. Pretty cool. And then kind of go through here, and we're going to go into the main living room here. And it's a huge space, big windows, and another thing about Mrs. Campbell was she had a huge rooster collection. So she loved roosters, and you will still see some throughout. The light fixture up there has roosters on it. There's a rooster pillow, some things that were left over from Mrs. Campbell being here. There's a piano that's been here, and the views are just amazing. You can see all the way up river, so you can see the Columbia River all the way up there. You can see the tops of the buildings. We're up on the 5th floor, so you can't get any higher than this. And you can see all the way up to the high school, and then you can even see the hospital up over there, and an amazing view of Saddle Rock as well. So it's just definitely some of the best views when you're downtown Wenatchee. So, yep, and so we'll go this way, and we'll go into what I call kind of the formal dining room. Again, I'm kind of repurposed things as I wasn't here when they lived in the space, so I don't know exactly how it looked, but we've set this up as a formal dining room. There's a really cool shelf there that has the window through to the kitchen, which is pretty neat. And so, again, you got the orange curtains, orange everywhere. And then we'll come into the kitchen here, and it has all the original appliances. So they got all the green original appliances, and they're still in really great shape. What I thought was really cool is, again, you can see kind of the rooster themes here on the cooktop. But for the 70s, early 70s, they had a glass cooktop, which was pretty fancy. So this is a little warmer here, which is really cool. And then down below here, this was a food prep mixer, and so it's got this all kind of built in, which is really cool. So they had a lot of really neat features to this home here. Under the counter coffee pot. So again,
his offices were out.
Yes, so if you look straight down there, that was the main headquarters. The administrative offices there, Mr. and Mrs. Campbell's main offices were there, and it's right next to Betty's Rose Garden, which is pretty famous for this space. Betty's Rose Garden has been there, gosh, for pretty much as long as Colonial Vista's been here. So, yep, their offices looked right out onto the Rose Garden. So, pretty cool kitchen. And then again, it goes through into kind of like a den. It's got the built-in record player and all the shelving, which was probably full of roosters at one point. But I was told they kind of had some chairs in here, and they would just kind of sit and hang out. This was a good little space. And then again, amazing views of Wenatchee here. You can see all of East Wenatchee. You can see the George Scheller Bridge. You can see the walking bridge. So everything in here is still how it was. There hasn't been no updates. So we'll go down the hallway here. You notice the doors, they're really well made. And the door handles, everything's really fancy. And they've got like really thick doors, nice closets. So we'll go down here, and there's a couple guest rooms. So this first guest room here is one of my favorites. The wallpaper is really cool. Again, we've kind of staged furniture in here for what we thought was kind of to the time period, but if you go up close to that wallpaper, it's really neat. And then the bathroom is really cool. It's got the gold fixtures on everything. You'll notice too that there's speakers throughout, so that does still work. I've got it to work before, so you can kind of listen to music all throughout the penthouse. And then we'll go into this other bedroom here. I was told this was their daughter's room when she would come home from school, so this is another really cool bedroom. All mirrors and big closet space. Another really cool little bathroom. It's pretty cool. Definitely vintage, but everything's in really good shape. They kept really good care of this place here. All right. Next, we'll move over here, and this is going to be, I believe, was kind of like a TV room or kind of just another little hangout space. So they would have chairs here, TV. It's kind of cool. It's got a little chalkboard. So to me, it looks kind of like it could have been a game room. But so it's another cool space. And then we're going to go through here. This is the master bedroom. So nice big bedroom. Again, it's got the velvety walls, which is really cool. It's kind of dark in here, but you come through here, you can check out the master bath. It's pretty nice. You'll notice that even the shower door is orange. I've never seen anything like that. It's pretty cool. So, got the shag carpet. Probably was all shag throughout the whole bathroom at one point, but it's probably been changed a little bit for that.
There's even a fold up.
That's a scale. And it works, yeah. So if you want to weigh yourself, it works. So, pretty cool. So this is kind of the end of the orange space. Now we're going to go into the other part of the penthouse, which you'll notice quickly that Mr. Campbell's favorite color was blue. So this here was where a lot of hosting was done. And so this is kind of a space that we've repurposed now. We kind of host book clubs and coffee hours. We are going to do movie nights up here. So it's just a great space for our residents to use. So we do use this space for different things, for hosting and whatnot. This was a big playroom. Lots of space. You can imagine kids having a lot of fun in here. So this is where we set up to do the movie nights and whatnot. It's a great space for us to kind of come up here and entertain with the residents. And then back here is the final part of the penthouse. And we've got the blue room. So this is the other master. And then the bathrooms, all blue. Even a blue shower door, because if you have an orange one, you should have a blue one, right? So it's pretty cool. So this is another little cool feature. So it's, if you're wearing a suit, you pick out what color suit you're wearing, what color shirt you're wearing, and tie. And so it's basically a tie guide. tells you what color tie is going to look best with your outfit. So that's pretty cool. So
Pretty computer too.
Right?
Oh.
Yeah, so this is all of the penthouse. It's pretty neat space. We feel like it's a really unique space, and we really enjoy bringing people up here and showing it, just because not a lot of people have seen it. So we appreciate you coming and taking a look today.
BC Outdoor Sport Fishing TV, Season 14. Join your host Mike Mitchell and his special guests as they explore some of the most exciting fisheries BC has to offer. BC Outdoors Sport Fishing TV. Check your listings for airtimes.
Whether you're a new homeowner or looking to update, Save Mart in Wenatchee has everything you need. From top-of-the-line appliances to comfy mattresses and stunning furniture that fits your style, they have it all under one roof. With great deals and expert customer service, you'll find the perfect pieces for your space and your budget. Save Mart, your local destination for quality appliances, mattresses, and furniture at prices you'll love.
Still raining lightly, still 39 degrees. Rain will be tapering off mid to late morning. The breeze will be picking up just a little bit, but we're keeping a very close eye basically for the 24-hour period between tomorrow at noon to Wednesday at noon. There is the ground is absolutely saturated, and there's some big trees that could very well topple to the ground with the strong winds that are expected. We have, in fact, a high wind watch for Tuesday night into Wednesday. So we may not be done with trees over power lines and roadways just yet. And that means, of course, the risk of rock and mudslides continues. Now, it's not going to rain in the upper elevations. Basically, I-90, the summit of Snoqualmie Pass and the summit of Stevens Pass, completely bereft of snow. That's going to change. It's going to snow a lot. In the meantime, Highway 2 between Skycomish on one side and Leavenworth on the other, that 50-mile stretch is still closed. But tomorrow is the big one. Tomorrow afternoon all the way through Wednesday, we're going to get torrential rains Tuesday night and very, very strong winds. We're talking gusts over 30 miles an hour, sustained winds at 20 miles an hour on Tuesday night, and we could get a half an inch of rain in the valley on Tuesday night before we finally calm down on Wednesday. And traveling over the mountain passes, especially Stevens and Snoqualmie, starting Tuesday night is going to be difficult to say the least, because it is going to snow and snow and snow pretty much nonstop starting Tuesday night. So here you go. Rain this morning, dry this afternoon. If we get to that 56-degree high, it would be another record. We're used to that. The record high temperature on the state is 50. That was set back in 2002. Little breezy this afternoon, little breezy tonight, but no rain in the forecast tonight. And then here we go. Heavy rain on Tuesday, up to a 1/4 inch possible during the day on Tuesday, a 1/2 inch possible Tuesday night with the strong winds. Still windy on Wednesday, but the rain should be tapering off. We catch a break most of the day Wednesday and then heavy rain on Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.